Hi, Kat.
Hey, Tiffany.
So I just realized I don't have an intro for this.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah. But welcome back to our season, what is it, 6?
Season 6.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And yeah, we collectively as humans have had a lot of ups and downs recently.
Mm-hmm.
We personally have both had some ups and downs. And yeah, so I'm kind of giving myself a break on this one. And
Yeah, it's fair.
We're going into season 6 talking about local action. That's our goal.
I'd say mine is also about political action, too. So,
Yeah.
things you can do yourself to make a difference.
Yeah.
However that
Yeah, and I
looks.
guess it doesn't have... I mean, we're going to focus more locally throughout the season.
Yeah, there's a lot of local focus. Yeah.
Yeah, but it doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I guess your next episode is more like... Well, we'll see.
We'll
Anyway.
see. Yeah.
Yeah, so kind of like wanted to do something for myself and also to inspire others or like give others ideas on how to feel better and how to like what the hell do we do in the face of so much uncertainty and so much fear, especially about climate stuff, because it's like not only was that not super high on the list of priorities with Biden,
Right.
but like now with Trump, it's going to be even lower. Like, is he still denying that climate change is a thing?
Of course. Mm-hmm.
Yep. So, yeah. So, you know, everybody who listens to this, I'm guessing, is scared. A lot of people are excited. I've heard about people getting like in arguments in stores because they say one bad thing about Trump, which is like, that's a whole other level.
Yeah. We're at a very interesting political point in our... Well, I could talk about that for hours, about how mean we are to each other, and all it takes is... Yeah, anyway, there's a lot of shit going on.
Yeah, it's wild. So yeah, I think like focusing on the small and the here and the now and the community around us means more. I don't know if it means more. Well, it probably does mean more at this point because federally there's not a whole lot of change that can happen in the direction we want to go.
Right.
But like locally, there's still so many options.
Yeah.
So yeah, today I wanted to kind of like talk through what is a sustainable community and like what does that look like, and it's so interesting because I found like 3 examples that I think a lot of people would call like off the wall, woo woo, a little bit out there communities, but I think we can take. I mean, if you want to go join them, by all means. Maybe I will. No.
Yeah.
But like we can take ideas from them, and there are so many ways that we can do that without like completely uplifting our lives and completely changing everything that we do. So, yeah. So to start, like, what the hell is a sustainable community? Because that can mean so many things, and I still think the definition can be pretty broad, but according to the Institute for Sustainable Communities, which, go figure, they would probably know what they're talking about. In their opinion, it's 4 pillars.
Okay.
So, and it's not just climate stuff. So, economic security for its people. Social well-being is number 2, which means like adequate health services, free from crime and aggression, etc. Community spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3 is leadership, civic engagement, and responsibility. So, like, equal opportunities for people to participate and influence decisions that affect their lives. Which, fair.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then fourth is ecological integrity, which is like clean air, clean water, nutritious and uncontaminated food. Um, Local biodiversity is protected. Water, land, energy, all of that is conserved. Maximizing like reusing and recycling of waste, and using renewable resources. This says faster than the rate of renewal, which means faster than they run out, or they're slower than they run out.
It should be the opposite. Yeah, I get what you mean.
Anyway,
allowing for them to renew. Yeah,
right. So it's sort of this idea. So there's like 4 pillars that don't only revolve around nature, like people are part of these sustainable communities, obviously, but it's so easy to think of sustainability as like just planting trees, for example. But actually it's more complicated than that and more nuanced. And so, I was like, well, this all sounds great and all, but realistically, can we find this? Like, is this real? Is this like something where, and it's actually like it's not that crazy if you think about it. It's like, okay,
it sounds pretty straightforward. Yeah,
like a place is politically stable. They use renewable resources. They have like a lot of local businesses. They have a community spirit. But honestly, it's like so hard to find a place that feels like that these days. And so I Googled sustainable community examples, and I got some like real extreme ones. But it's kind of awesome. Okay, so I have 3 examples. One of them is called the Eco Village of Ithaca. So it's in New York. And it is basically like a bunch of houses that you can live in, and you pay to live in them. And it's like community living. So there's neighborhoods that the neighborhoods are called Frog Neighborhood, Song Neighborhood, and Tree Neighborhood.
It's like summer camp. Yeah. Wow.
Yes, kind of. But they're actual houses. And so each neighborhood has like 40 houses, but the homes are made sustainably, or at least, as far as we can make them sustainably. They're like not that big, and that's what I liked about them. So they're like Energy Star certified, and they have a common house in the middle, which is so interesting. So they like share kitchen, dining area, laundry room, library, playroom, and it just sounds so cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of it is like they use a lot of solar energy, and yeah, it just sounds kind of great. But I wanted to see, like, because you can actually buy houses here. But
yeah, I was wondering what the application process is like,
right?
And because that's where things get sketchy, right? When you create a utopia and you start being like, well, we can only allow certain people in here, and obviously some people will self-select. But
yes. Well, and that's the case with another one that I found I wanted to bring up. It's called Dancing Rabbit Eco Village, which is like, my God, Dancing Rabbit. But, so they have a very similar vibe going on, except they have, I don't know if the Ithaca one has this, but the Dancing Rabbit one has short-term visits. So if you just want to like try it out, or
like
try
an
something
Airbnb.
new, kind of, yeah. So you can stay for 2 weeks, or you can stay for maybe even shorter, and you can also do like a work study or whatever they call it, where you actually like work and learn how to like be on a farm or do their kind of like gardening or permaculture, I think they call it. And so yeah, you can apply to that, but you can also become a resident. And it's so interesting because, my God, is the application process so long.
I'll bet.
So
yeah,
basically,
not open to everyone.
You first
yeah.
have to, well, I don't know. I guess you have to be kind of picky, but like, basically they're saying you need to come as a visitor or as the or like on the work exchange program. And then you can meet a lot of our members, get to know the place, and then you apply. And that's only an option after you've gotten to know the community a little bit. And
Nice.
you have to, you literally have to like apply for like residency. I mean, it's like applying for a country. You apply, you have to write a letter of intent with your reasons for wishing to join Dancing Rabbit, the ways you will contribute, how you intend to meet your needs here, financial, social, spiritual, physical. I don't have spiritual needs. Just kidding. Sorry.
You need to talk to Oprah about that, okay?
And then the community. Okay, so then they survey the community to see if there's enough enthusiasm and support and integration energy for you to join.
Okay.
And then they do an interview. And if, let's see, the interview, it says it's a reflection opportunity and a reality check for both sides. So then the members can recommend you or not recommend you. And then you can become a resident.
Okay.
So then you sign a residency agreement and... Okay. As a resident, you may rent but not build or hold leases. Most tent or rent a room or space or house. So...
Okay. So is there like another level above resident or...
I don't know. And then it says you live... Oh, yes, there is. Then you live there for 6 months.
Okay.
See if it works for you and for everybody else. And then you apply for membership.
Aha.
So then I guess you can... Yeah.
Become a landowner, a member of the landed gentry.
I think so. I think so. And so, like, that's nuts to me because that just reminds me so much of when I was looking for an apartment or a house to live at in DC, where there were tons of like communal living houses, but they were so crazy. And some of them took it so far. And I remember once I was in this interview with probably at least 25 other people.
Oh my gosh.
We all sat around in a circle, and this turd with a checklist. She had this like checklist with her little pad and her pen. And I hear Ada.
Yeah, she's having a panic attack. I don't know what is going on. I'm pretty sure it was her own reflection, but we'll see.
That's awesome.
She's a teenager now, so everything is a crisis.
That is so funny.
Yeah.
She's like, I see a dog.
It's a pretty one, but I don't know. But yeah, I think she had dragged a pillow off the couch outside onto the dog bed and left it there, and it scared her, I guess. So.
Oh my god. That is hilarious.
I wonder how many books she's eaten. She's in a... Okay. Anyway.
Lord.
Yeah. So now that we're done with Ada being a pain.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you sat in a circle.
Yeah.
With somebody with a checklist.
Yes. So it was like 20, 25 of us. And this woman asked us all to go around in the circle. It's like, we have our own lives, but okay. And explain why we wanted to move into this house. And all I said was, I want to make friends because I was new in DC,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm interested in like hanging out with my roommates once in a while. And she just looked at me and she goes, "Well, we all travel a lot, so that's not going to be this house." Next.
Wrong sorority, I guess. Jeez.
Yeah. And I sat there and I was like, I need to leave. Why am I here? Because we sat there for like an hour. And of course I was too young to know how to put my foot down.
Right.
And then after that, she took us all on a tour. And I was like, give us a damn tour of this ugly house before we sit down and talk with you for an hour. Like, it was crazy.
I can't believe that. So that's kind of my concern with these that you're reading about is like the gatekeeping.
Well, that's the thing. It's like obviously not everybody can live in a place like this.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, unless we create every single community like
Yeah,
this.
I guess. It just seems like it's like
I said, it's extreme.
it is. It is. Okay. I'm just thinking about like sounds like corporate America where it's like, yeah, only white men get the job because white men are already there, so they're only hiring other white men. So it's like you're just kind of perpetuating, and then you just have clones of yourself all over the place, and then there's nothing interesting happens, and then you know, get wiped out by surprises that I don't know, because nobody's thinking interestingly and stuff like that, and
or creatively.
I feel like that should be a tenet of a sustainable community, right? It's there in Pillar 3, like everybody should have equal access to leadership and things, but if you create a utopia where there's no diversity of thought, yeah, of course everyone has access to the leadership because you all agree with each other, you know? And you're just cutting other people out.
Yeah, I mean, you know, maybe there is diversity, but
if and it may be that there's intentional diversity, but even that comes with so much
diversity
bias.
of thought, but
Of anything, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, it is hard to say because it is it's very communal, which is good.
Yeah.
But when does it become a mob? No, I'm just kidding.
Or a tribe. Yeah, like when does it
yeah.
become like tribalistic and you're like us versus them, and which is it's a thing we fall into accidentally because we've evolved for 10,000 years to be that way, and so you have to be very intentional about not doing it. But it just sounds really, it feels like a country club to me, you know?
Yeah, totally.
You have to have $10,000 to get in here, you know, like, and you have to be recommended by one of the Joneses, you know?
Yes.
So, yeah, the Joneses are never going to recommend people they don't know, and, you know, it just sounds
so draining.
Yes.
Like, who the hell has that kind of energy to do all that? So there are others. I only found 3, like a list of 3. I didn't look that hard, to be honest, but oh my Lord, Dancing Rabbit Lady was yelling in my ear.
Oh, Lord. Don't open that window.
God. Her name is Danielle, and she yelled in my ear. Okay.
Oh, okay, lady.
Whew.
Yeah.
But there's one. So Dancing Rabbit is in Missouri, which is so interesting.
I mean, they're all over the place, I'm sure.
Yeah. But there's one called Villages of Crest Mountain, right outside of Asheville, which is not surprising. And
college town.
Yeah, and also like pretty hippy dippy.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised that this type of thing is like forming in that area.
Yeah.
And this one's kind of interesting though because it's more like it looks like a development, there's a developer.
Oh.
But they're just thinking about like creating edible landscapes and common gardens, and they want to focus on nurturing inclusion, community, and harmony. We must be harmonious.
Be harmonious. Enforce harmony. At all costs.
Yeah, like having green spaces, and yeah, it sounds less cultish.
Okay.
So
yeah,
not that the other one's a cult, but yeah, it sounds a little bit more like low key,
open. Yeah,
yeah. It may be more about money. I'm not sure. I don't know what the requirements are to get there, but
yeah, barriers to entry is interesting to me. I would hope that the public housing development going up down the street from me has people thinking about these things. I doubt it because there's not enough money in public housing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But that's, I don't know. I wish.
Yeah. So I actually see, this is interesting because there are lots that you can buy
Mm-hmm.
for like $100,000. They're small, but they're $100,000. I'm like, huh. That given is only the land, but for around here, that's like cheap.
I know. I'm like, there's nothing in Austin for 100,000. You would buy a lot for 650 around here, which is insane.
Yeah. I mean, this is, now I'm just going on a tangent, but there's 12 acres for $163,000. Is that right? Can that be real?
Possible. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's really that is really interesting to me. But it's new, so that's like a really new area. So it's hard to see or hard to say like how it's going to go, but
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's very interesting because it's like these places do exist. And like I said, even in DC you can find these sort of communal houses. I was never really attracted to them because I found it really stifling, to be honest. Like some of the houses that my friends lived in, they would like basically be forced to cook dinner together every night, which sounds lovely, but if you don't have a choice, it's just, I find it kind of strange.
Yeah.
And then it's funny because I ended up in a house that was like pretty communal actually, but like casually. You know?
Yeah. When you wanted it. Yeah.
Yeah, like we shared groceries for a little while and then realized like this isn't going to work because our one roommate was eating all of our yogurt.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we stopped. But we still had, you know, every night we would have dinner together. Just we would cook our own thing or we would cook for each other or like whatever. And we would just talk for like hours. And it was great. It was awesome. But it wasn't like, you know, like planned out. It wasn't a planned community, you know.
Yeah. And also sometimes I was just thinking when you were describing these places that some of them sound like you ever watched like The Walking Dead?
I haven't.
Okay.
But, yeah.
Well, any zombie movie or any post-apocalyptic dystopia where they kind of create these little pockets of idealistic utopia, you know, and it's kind of organic because it's who's left, but everyone has to pitch in, and then, you know, it's always like overtaken by zombies at the end because we can't have good things. But
right,
that's, I wonder, you know, maybe that's, we get back to the ideal village when we're forced out of, you know, this post-capitalist hellscape that we're in by the fall of the American Empire, you know, like.
Right. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I hate to make it all cynical.
No, but
sad,
I mean, God, aren't we all thinking it?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, it is, I don't know. It's really interesting. There's just something, the irony is that there's something very inorganic about it.
Yes.
The irony is.
Yes. An inorganic organic compound. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And probably, all of these places probably started organically, but.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think that's the thing. When you have something good happening, people want to join in, right?
Mm-hmm.
And my dad used to say, there's no such thing as an ideal church. And if there was, they wouldn't let you in. You know, like you could never be a member. And I think there's something about, I think Groucho Marx said something along those lines once, but, yeah, that these things, human happiness happens organically, human community happens organically. There is some intention to it, but the more you try to schedule it and regiment it, the worse it gets, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Because it feels forced.
Yeah.
And I do think you have to put an effort in, which is what I'm realizing is like community is not just going to fall in my lap.
No.
Like I have lately tried to actually put myself out there in my community, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit. But yeah, it's like not everything's going to work. Like I'm not going to click with every other mom that I meet.
Right.
I'm not going to, like every volunteer project that I try. I'm not going to, so it's just, I don't know. It's fascinating. It's fascinating.
Well, do you think, is this a good time to take a break?
Yeah, probably.
All right, let's hit up the break.
All right. Sweet. I realized I said mute. We should mute ourselves as I was muted.
Yeah.
I'm an idiot.
That's okay. Nope. All good.
Behind the scenes,
we're still getting back to the swing of it. Yeah. It's been 4 months,
It's been a while. And so, so I wanted to talk about, like, actually my county, which I'm realizing Maryland is, like, pretty good about this stuff. Like, more than I even realized. There's a reason I like it here, I think. Like, I like it and I hate it, and I like it and I hate it. But, like, we have, my county specifically has the oldest Office of Sustainability in Maryland, in the state.
Wow.
And that's cool, because we have this newsletter, and I talked a little bit about this in a different episode, but we have a newsletter. It's called, like, Live Green or something. I signed up for it. And it just talks about all of the different things that different groups and agencies and whatever are doing in my county specifically to try to make it more sustainable around here. And that's pretty awesome,
That
actually.
is awesome.
Like, when you look into it, I feel like there's more stuff like this than we realize. And if there isn't where you live, there's so much opportunity to create this kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, for example, I mentioned the forestry board, that I just saw, like, a random call for volunteers to join the forestry board. And I was like, forestry board! Because I've gotten so, like, obsessive about invasive plants and invasive species. And it's like, once you see it, you can't unsee it. And so I was like, I need to join this thing. And then it just felt like I found, like, my people, and it was so cool. And so that was one thing. But then I think I'm realizing that life is just pure momentum. Like, all life is just momentum. And so I got this email. No, I think this was actually on the same newsletter maybe. But anyway, I saw an email about this breakfast where you can meet with your local council members about our, like, 2025 sustainability plans.
Oh, wow.
And it's like, they'll feed me, which is awesome.
Yes.
And second, you can talk with them and ask questions and provide your feedback on like, the sustainability initiatives going into next year. So I signed up, and I'm excited, and I think it'll be fun. So yeah, I mean, all that to say, you don't have to live in a commune to, like, A, join your community, and B, work toward a more sustainable location. So is it perfect? God, no.
No.
But is it gonna be? God, no. So yeah, I don't know. I just found it, like, really cool, and pretty exciting, actually. So I feel like if you just kind of Google your county or your city and put the words, like, sustainability in there, or put the words whatever you're interested in, like gardening club or
native species,
or because there's all these volunteer opportunities too, to go through the forest and, like, cut down invasive vines and stuff, and they'll teach you how to do it, and I'm like, oh my god. And yeah, just whatever you're interested in, like,
it's out there.
Yeah. And if it's not, you can always, like, start.
You can make it. I know, that's kind of the great American complacency problem, right? Mm-hmm. Is that we let government or planning kind of happen without our input. And it's because, we're all busy making money and, or not making enough money. But but it's time to get involved in your local community. And this is a great reason to, is because otherwise you're going to go insane watching federal politics spin out of control in ways that you can't touch. But you can touch your local community.
Yes.
You can. You absolutely can.
Yep.
So, yeah. And political activism doesn't have to be running for Congress. And it doesn't have to be starting a revolution.
No.
It can
or
be,
even going to a protest.
Yeah. It can be, volunteering to help out, to help clean the frickin' creek down the street. Like get the trash out of the creek. Or
you can actually order, there's like a saltwater, not saltwater, but salt deposit testing. And I could think of the name, but you could look it up. You can actually like just get a kit in the mail and you can test your water outside your house for salt. Mm-hmm. And because, they use salt all over the roads, and send it back to them. Like that's a form of
participating.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're doing scientific research for the community so that they can be like, okay, we're oversalting the roads, or we need to find another, answer. Is this causing harm to wildlife? Yeah.
Yeah, and you don't have to talk to a damn person.
Nope.
If you don't feel like it.
You just get a kit and you send it back, and you are a citizen researcher. Yeah.
Yes.
It's great.
Yep.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so I think the main takeaway from this whole season, but also this episode, is like how do you frame this? We can't beat ourselves up for being complacent, because like I said, I was like miscomplacent because I was so freaking tired and so felt like I didn't have time and so didn't know where to start.
Yeah.
But honestly, momentum is everything. It's like I think for me it started with gardening. Mm-hmm. Just like starting to garden in my house and like talk to, like I ran into some master gardeners at my library and I just had like a very brief, only slightly awkward conversation with them. And then I was with a friend and we had another conversation. It just got me really interested. And then I noticed, however I found out about invasive species, I can't remember at this point, but it was like that really lit a fire under my ass because I knew about local plants and like native plants and how important they were. And then I realized, like, my eyes just got like blown open to the fact that like invasive species are a huge threat. And even like we went to Portland for my cousin Mackenzie's memorial, Portland, Oregon. And there were, I think it was kudzu. I'm not sure if it was kudzu or if it was another invasive species, but it was everywhere. And it's like their forests are beautiful, but oh my God, they're going to die. Like these trees are going to die if they don't take care of this. And I haven't heard anything about that on the West Coast.
Yeah.
Not that
it's
I
all
maybe
East Coast,
would have, but
yeah.
But yeah, a lot of people talk about the East Coast, but it was like everywhere there. So anyway, yeah, I think like it started with like planting some shit.
And one small step for Tiffany.
Right. Yeah. One giant leap for native species. No. But yeah, and because I think it's so easy to talk ourselves out of doing anything or tell ourselves we don't feel helpless. Yes. Yeah, and that's not our fault because
consumerism keeps you that way, for sure.
Yes, 100%. And we have so much information at our fingertips that it's total overwhelm 100% of the time.
We are meant to hibernate for 3 months out of the winter, and we're just pretending that we're productive people who can stand more news than an Elizabethan person ever saw in their entire lives in a single hour. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, the stimulus is not, it's overwhelming. Yeah. So it's like none of this is our fault. I really don't believe that it's our fault. But I do think like taking that one tiny step of something towards something that you're interested in can really just like open up your eyes over time. And it doesn't have to be your small step can be like this week, and your bigger step can be in a year, and your bigger step can be a year later, you know?
And you probably won't even notice you're taking bigger steps.
Right.
Yeah. It's cumulative and organic.
Yes.
Intentional, however, you do have to stop the inertia of complacency. That's the
Yeah.
hardest part. But
Yes.
yeah, no judgment. I mean,
Yeah.
if you
Totally.
can, yeah, do it. This is a good time to, and also it will bring you so much relief because it will get you away from the overwhelm and it will make you feel like you have some control over things. And it
Yep.
will show you people are good. There are good
Yes.
people around. So you're not afraid of everyone that you meet on the street.
Yeah, because like I said, there was this I think I mentioned this on here. There was a vote. I did. There was a vote for my local board of education person,
Yeah.
and it was very close votes before the mail-in ballots came in, where this woman who was like Moms for Liberty, book banning, whatever kind of you want to call her, quite conservative person versus somebody who's like anti-gun and yeah, somebody that I would prefer. And I was scared. I was like, who do I live around if that's like my neighbors that are voting for her? And actually, the woman I wanted, ended up winning by like 1,000 votes, which made me feel really good. But where the hell was I even going with that? What were you saying?
Oh, just not being afraid of your neighbors.
Oh, yeah. So I felt very afraid. But then since I joined this board, it's like, oh my God, like there's a happy hour where people who love nature go and talk about eco stuff for like an hour once or twice a month. Like I want to go to that. And it just makes you realize there are so many people out there doing such cool things and so many good people in the world that it's a huge relief. I think it's actually helping me not feel despair.
That's so good.
Totally is.
And that's
totally
so important. You need that for sure.
Yeah. Everybody needs that.
Yeah.
Like however you can stop yourself from feeling despair.
Yeah.
Try it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a new t-shirt that we'll never sell because we don't sell t-shirts.
Yeah. Yeah, but my goal this season is to like, we'll probably hop around a little bit, but I'd love to really research like specific ways to get involved in your communities. So, because I think having like a specific walkthrough of like, here's step 1, here's step 2, here's step 3 can really help. At least it would have helped me for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And, I think about like the Pedestrian Advisory Council.
Yes. Yeah. You could totally talk about that.
That's an official government thing.
Mm-hmm.
But, there's all kinds of boards and it's just, you don't know they exist yet. And they want you so badly, I assure you.
Yeah, they need help.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And like so far the forestry board, I'm sure it's going to ramp up, but it's like one meeting a month.
Mine was like an hour every month. Yeah.
Yeah. And then some stuff on the side.
Yeah.
And that's like totally doable. So
yeah.
So yeah, just I think it's really about finding what you care about, because I volunteered for other stuff before and I'm like not.
It didn't light a fire under you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I should, like I did one for childcare, like campaign for childcare is what it's called. And I was like, I should care about this. And yet I can't bring myself to like want to go to these meetings.
Yeah.
Whereas this other one, I'm like wanting to run to them. Like,
yeah. Throw the baby at the husband and see you later.
Yeah.
Bye. I'm out of here. Yeah.
Bye. Yeah. So yeah, cool. Yeah, I'd love to hear about your pedestrian advisory council.
Yeah.
Later.
One of these days.
Yeah. Cool. Well, that's it. It's funny because
Awesome.
I was like, this will be short.
It's always 40 minutes.
Yeah.
We have a internal timer. Well, cool. Well, next week, which if this all goes according to plan, will be the day after the inauguration. So hopefully we are all still on this planet. I shouldn't have said that. That was stupid. We'll be fine. It'll all be fine. Yes, we're going to talk about putting your money where your mouth is. When it comes to sustainable charity giving.
Yes.
And some considerations of that. So hopefully that will be an empowering experience as well.
Yes, I love it. Awesome.
All right.
Cool.
Follow us on Instagram or Patreon if you haven't. Patreon.com/greeningupmyact. We do
About an episode a month.
About an episode a month when we're not going through hell. But yeah. No hell this year, Tiffany. Hell is over.
Hell is done so.
Yeah, I hope.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you for listening.
Toodaloo.
Bye.